All right, so this is going to be the commentary of the body locking. I'm pretty sure I have to actually look here. I'm pretty sure what the rules of engagement are is if they can lock closed guard, if they can separate my hands and off bounds me, sweep me, obviously submit me to restart, and if I can either pass or force a half guard with a body lock, then it's a win for me. I'm gonna just confirm that because I filmed this so long ago I forgot what I actually told them. But I'm pretty sure if I force half guard, it's a win, and if they obviously change positions and off bounds me or sweep me, it's a win for them. All right. Primarily, what we're going to be looking at is just using standard body locks to either pass or step into half guard, but also look at the integration of tight waists and the combination of tight waists and locked hand body locks, as well as side body locks. All right. So this is going to be a commentary on very in-depth details that we looked at previously. So we're starting just in a body lock here. And you see he tries to underhook my arms. Okay, so we start initially with the body lock. He goes and tries to punch underhooks in. Now, the reason why he can't use the underhooks is because my elbows are covering his elbows. You see, like we spoke about, what he needs is to start getting his shoulder inside my shoulder. Okay, right now my shoulder's inside his elbow, so he has no ability to. My shoulder's inside his shoulder rather, so he has no ability to punch that underhook up. The further my elbows drift down towards his elbows, the easier it is for me to control his arm. The further his elbows drift up towards his shoulder line, the easier it is for him to control my arms and separate my hands. Okay, so now he basically put arms in, and his arms were trapped, but he actually got his legs out and recovered to a full closed guard. So you see here, I made a mistake of stepping a leg out too far. One leg came around, then I failed to trap the second leg, and the leg came around, and he actually recovered to a closed guard there. Again, he went to go pommel that legs in, and from here, I look to go in, force a half guard. You see a very specific leg pommel there. So I use a sprawling method to sprawl past the butterfly hook, step over that knee, pull the knee back towards center, and now from here, watch what I'm going to look to do with my left foot. I pommel right foot over, and now I can't pass because I don't have control above his knee. So the right foot just pins his lower leg, making a pass off easy to my left leg, and now I step my right leg up, and now I have the inside position with my with my left foot rather. Now the only thing left for me to do is pommel that right leg inside. So I walk, 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 I sprawl past that butterfly hook, and now from here we can go in and get a pass. See unlocked hands here, using the tight waist, pull that knee down, step over into half guard, I sprawled past the butterfly hook, force the half, he reinserts the butterfly hook, and now I go in and I relock my hands once again with that body lock. Switching to a cross face, pommeling the legs, and let's take a look at that transition. So from here I had a tight waist, left hand, I switch to a cross face, right hand, I extract the left hand, and then I use that as a post to go in and step over the knee. Now as I did that, he did a good job of bringing his opposite knee back to the inside. Now knowing this, I pommel my leg to the outside, okay? Because what I don't want is him to split my knees, control the space between them, and then move into Ashigarami. So I pommel my two legs to the same side of his body here. And now from here, I look to pommel a second leg on, to go top pommel on the shin. And now going in, looking to leg ride. I lock my hands back in a body lock, and now we're back in a butterfly half guard. Looking to return her shoulder down to the floor. Looking to go in, step over. See the unlocked hands there for a moment, and I can't step over. Moving from a body lock to a tight waist. Never just sticking with one or the other. Now relocking my hands once that tight waist comes back in, or once I step over into half guard rather. Now he's pulling that body lock up, and you see now he uses the underhooks, but I just switch to a crossface and move into a half guard. So you see the whole purpose here is to force a half guard and look to go into pass from there. And you see, I got so concerned with pulling my arms up that he actually just gave me a cranial shift. So here he's blocking the crossface. I have a body lock. He can't move his hips. So now he goes underneath and tries to pull the arm up to separate the body lock, but he actually pulls himself into a crossface here. And now I have that free hand to work with, that left hand free hand to work with, where we can pommel. I just step up and over the legs, pull them back towards center, and pass into mount. Okay, you see from there, so he attempted to forward shift. As he did that, I stepped a left leg up and left knee, left elbow connection. Now I have the inside knee position. Now he tried to force me to the opposite side to stop me from stepping over into a half guard. Okay, so you see from here, I could have stepped into half guard, but he turns his knees towards me. Okay, what that does is it allows me now to start moving into side body locking territory, where now I have the outside knee position, or I'm outside of his right knee. And from here, I can look to start to crush his two knees together through that body lock. Now it's just a matter of keeping those knees relatively close together, pommeling the feet in a manner which keep them safe from being trapped, and starting to walk around to the other side. You see from here, I'm pommeling legs, past that hook, and now we're past. Okay, so you see you try the forward shift and stop me from moving into a half guard, which just allowed me to step over and start using side body lock variations. As you see, I was trying to shift here. I'm always just making sure I pull my knees back in when the time's right. Sprawling past that leg. And just immediately stepping over into a half guard. And I guess we keep going from a half guard, so I didn't stop. That was actually the wrong rules of engagement I told you guys in the beginning. I actually did pass from a half guard. Okay, you see from here, trying to pommel legs inside. Trying to sprawl past that leg. And you see right there on the forward shift, he forward shifts and I move into that side body lock. So from here, he goes to forward shift. You'll see the extension of his legs. Okay, so we're in here. He goes to slightly extend his legs. And as he does, I just take everything on by, coming slightly off the floor with my knees, and then immediately going to a side body lock to get to that outside knee position. And then from there, I use a knee slide method. Instead of pommeling around towards his backside, I felt his legs were entangling me, so I take my right knee up, and I just slide across to a side control and solidify top pin. See from here again, moving to that side body lock. So you see from here, he has butterfly half guard. He goes to hit the Sumigaeshi, but I use the same pass-off method where I sweep the legs by. Right here, you see my hand move down towards his legs. I sweep that knee on by. And then I go and I relock my hands, so now his knees are crushed together. I tried Yoko Sumigaeshi, but I have good head position. And now from here I look to go in, step over one leg, he brings his knee to his chest, and that takes the sticky butterfly hook out and away. So you see from here, I try to go step over, he brings his knee to his chest, but now there's no butterfly hook anymore. So that makes the pommel back and around relatively easy, and that's the end of that first body locking roll there. Alright, roll number 2, body lock passing. Okay, again, starting with the body lock. The reason why I started with body locks is because if the guy knows that I'm just trying to lock a body lock, the setup for just only trying to body lock would take me half the video just to begin with. If the guy knows that I just have to do this and not get body locked, it would be really hard to just set up a body lock from anywhere. So we're just starting in a body lock just to show you guys the little intricacies of passing once you have the actual hands locked. Notice here he's trying to take his legs out, always keeping those knees and elbows coming together. So you see here he's trying to almost lock a closed guard. You see my knee and elbow connection is just almost perfect here. I mean, I'm basically, my left knee and left elbow are almost connected. So when he goes to pull that right leg out, he can't do it. It has to move somewhere else. And now I look to sprawl past that first butterfly hook. Look to start stepping over into a half guard. But he's doing a good job of keeping his knee up and opened. And now from here, it's just a matter of time until I eventually step over into that half guard. Now I'm looking to pommel legs. And now I actually crush his legs together. So you see, a great option here is I can either pommel a right leg butterfly or left leg butterfly hook in, and I look to beat him with pommels from there. Or I can bank on him overextending with a Sumigaeshi hook, and as he overextends, I can drop my hips, crush the legs together, and then from there, as he goes to reopen the knees, he just basically drags me across. Because as he opens this leg, it drags my leg across to the far hip, and then as long as I can connect my right knee to his hip, I'm mounted. Okay? So he overextended, got his legs crushed together, and then as he went to recover, ended up bottom mount. Okay, so he gets one leg out from here. I have a body lock still locked, and I have his other leg trapped. As long as I can keep the other leg trapped, we're still good to go. Now he reinserts a butterfly hook to try to off-balance me. And again, it's always that sprawling method, which allows me to step over into a half guard. Now you see I unlock my hands, I move to a tight waist, and I use a hand assist to actually get past that knee. So you see I'm not just hammering away with the locked hands. If at some point I feel like I'm not going to be able to step over that leg, I unlock my hands, and you see my left hand, far side of the camera angle, doing work there to push that knee down. And then from there, as I pass, I walk back towards the hips. Everyone goes towards the head. So you see my hips come through, they catch, and they circle back towards the hips to make a pass. So when he goes to reinsert that right knee inside, it always gets caught on my hip bone and can solidify top pin. Also, another reason, just so you guys understand why I wasn't using side body locks as much here, is because all of my ukes just immediately dug underhooks in. So it's hard to pass legs across when they have underhooks. Most people try to Sumigaeshi with double overhooks, but this is a great reaction. So I need to just keep hands locked from here and look to crush underhooks instead. See, always keeping my shoulder line lower than his, shutting down his underhooks. Looking to step over. He actually gets one leg back to the outside. Now I have a body lock in place. I'm looking to step over. He's looking to knee lever. Now you see unlocked hands for a quick hand assist, stepping back over into half guard. Now I can relock the hands. And I can use an inside elbow. And start inserting a butterfly hook. And you see, as I did that, he actually went to bridge. So as my butterfly hook came in, he went to bridge, and I got off balanced out to this side. Now the good news is that my hands are still locked. So the second he went to come on top of me, those locked hands allowed me to go ear to back, and then that forced him to either, one, create back exposure by continuing to turtle, or two, fall back down to a guard position. And as he did that, I followed his legs in and crushed him both of his knees together. See, as I went to go pommel, I got off balance here. I fell, hands stayed locked. And now as he went to go come up, I followed, threatening his back. And we ended up in a situation where, as he went to regard, his two legs had crushed together. Now I can pommel a butterfly hook in. Now it's a matter of either stepping over the legs into mount or moving across to the other side. You see my inside elbow goes inside now. Now it came out. Now I'm pummeling back over the legs. And you see the transition there where I try to go inside elbow initially here to start working. I feel that's not going to work. So instead, I go outside elbow here. Now he's worried about my hand position, and as he goes to address the hand position, crossface comes in. Okay, so you see the hands are playing around down here. As he's worried about that, he goes to pull the hand up. You go right to a crossface, and now you make the cranial shift. And now that moves me right into a mounted position for the win. Okay, so the combination of passing with body locks, passing with tight waists, and passing with half guard is super, super important. You can't just expect to rely on body lock. You can't just expect to rely on half guard passing. You have to use one chain together with the other. We'll take a look at this here. So again, looking to step over from here, looking to sprawl by. He goes to bridge towards me to recover as I beat his butterfly hook. And because his knees are pointing towards me, now that just allows me to hop around to the other side and crush his two legs together. Now I have that inside elbow position here, the side body lock. And he can't turn into me now. And it's a pretty easy thing for me to step over and start mounting. Now he's just trying to sit up towards me. Lucky Kimura to unlock my hands. But as he went to go sit up in heist, he ended up turning his knees towards me. And that allowed me to take my left knee to cover his. So that as he goes to come back and recover guard, now his legs get crushed together. You see my left knee high, so he can't put a leg back outside mine. Now it's a matter of looking to pommel over his legs. Either go to mount or pommel back across. Using a side body lock here. And then that was the end of that round, body locks. Okay, roll 3 here. Starting with body lock. Okay, so you see I passed the leg off there, so now he has no butterfly hook, and he has no ability to actually trap me in half guard. So you see very subtly I kick a leg back, and I pommel it, like so. So now he has no ability to even lock a half guard if he wants. Now he realizes this and knows that if I step over that knee, I'm going to pass. So he's keeping that hand on my knee to make sure I don't step over. See, now I allow him to bring the knee back in, so I can crush the two legs together. And try to force half guard. So it doesn't make you a bad guy if you move back into the legs, provided you have the correct leg positioning you want. And after here, he recovers. Full butterfly, tries to off balance me, but hips are controlled. You see now the unlocked hands, I move to a tight waist. Try to go to the knee, but fails. Relock the hands. Now I can step over the leg. You see now I move to the head. He brings the knee inside. Uses that knee to recover. So you see I go to come through. I try to cover the hips, but he brings the top knee back inside, and he uses the top knee to off balance me and bring the bottom knee back inside. As the bottom knee comes back inside, before he can lock a half guard, I just hip switch and try to cover. Now he posts to my hips to make it hard to move towards him. So I slide the right knee right away through, and instead of going into the frames, I hip switch so that his frames, slide off my thigh, like so. Now bring my right knee in, and now as the frames slip off, I'm past his legs, chest to chest, inside control. See here, side body lock. So he comes in, he goes to forward shift. I swipe the legs by, and I get that outside knee position. Or now from here, these two legs are crushed together, and I have a body lock. See, now he's trying to put a Yokozuna hook in. Look to scoop my leg, but I have a butterfly hook in place. So he's trying to enter into an Ashigarami from here, but he can't because of the fact that I have that butterfly hook in place with the body lock controlling him. And you see now from here, he tries to sit up, but as he goes to sit up, now he loses a scoop on the leg. His legs are still crushed together. It's a pretty easy thing for me to step over and then immediately take my left knee right to his hip. There we go. And now we're passed into a mounted position. He's trying to sprawl past that butterfly hook. Now he doesn't allow me to sprawl past the hook, but he ends up in a situation where he's so sticky with the hook that as I go to a sprawl, he extends his legs so far and then allows me to take my right hand. See, my right hand is up high now. My right arm, because of that extension, just comes down and passes that knee on by. And now I have that outside leg position where his legs are crushed together. Use that underhook on my arm. I have hands locked. And I try to step over into mount. As I go to step over into mount, he brings that knee high, hoping to catch me with the butterfly hook. So I got to step 1, knee in, 2, knee over to mount, 3, he brings his knee high to track me with that butterfly hook, so mount's not there. So instead I hip switch by, beat the knee, and then land chest to chest. Force half guard here. And then that was the end of that round. Okay, roll 4. I only had 3 guys for a lot of these rolling breakdowns, so it's the same person, it's just a different roll. I'm going to commentate it here. Let's see how we get to this outside knee position. I missed it. Okay, so you see here, hands are locked. He goes to forward shift to Sumigaeshi. You see my hand coming through here to pass the legs on by. Get to that outside knee position and cover it with my knee. You see now his legs are crushed together, and I mean, you just feel so useless when you're here and your knees are pinned together and the guy has his hands locked around your hips. You're like just barely hanging on for your life with your feet. And it's pretty easy for the guy to out pummel you. So see him trying to hook a leg here, but it's a pretty easy thing for me to just wait. And then at my leisure, just step over, put the knee down, pommel through, and step to a mounted position, and win that battle there. See a sprawl past 1 butterfly hook. Tried to step over, but failed. But I still have good leg position here. And you see, as he went to go put that butterfly hook back in, he went to go insert that butterfly hook. I go in, I step over, and I control that leg and force him into a butterfly half guard. So he puts the butterfly hook back in, but I step over into half guard. So he's looking to go in and just lock a half guard, lock his legs here. I'm tripoding up, putting a butterfly hook in, controlling that knee, and then going into pass. Notice, this is important here, notice how once I pass, I control that far hip with the inside knee. Here. So when he goes to bridge or move around, it's an incredibly difficult thing for him to off-balance you. This time I step over to left side half guard. his left, my right. Now he has no butterfly hook in place here. So if I tripod from here, it's going to be an easy pass. You see this time I switch to a reverse underhook, and I use that to just back step out, and we're passed. Okay, so again, a combination of body lock and half guard passing. Okay, so he actually willingly takes the leg out here and tries to hook it around to try to lock a closed guard. I unlock my hands here, I step his leg over. One of the best times to do this is when he has a leg over, because you don't want that other leg coming out and locking you in closed guard. So it's very favorable for you here, to the second someone throws a leg over your back, to use a hand assist with a tight waist to step over that knee, force a half guard, and now there's just no chance of them ever locking you into a closed guard, which he realizes from here, then he moves back down to a half guard. Now the beauty of this is that I'm already past the top leg in a half guard, like we spoke about. The hardest job you have associated with half guard is getting past the top leg. And when you use a body lock first to just force a half guard, you're already past the top leg chest to chest. You see from here, I move from the body lock, he goes to underhook, I move to a cross face, and now I have that free hand to work with, where I can drive across into 3/4 mount, and then we're just out of the body lock position, so we reset. So he forces him into a half guard here. So everyone's trying to pull my underhooks up. They're trying to pull the underhooks up to open up my hands, but now there's nothing blocking a crossface. So I just go and start controlling the head with the crossface. Now I have a free hand to go in and start passing. And you see from here, I use that free hand to push his knee down so that my knee can drive across. You see now, he has no choice but to take his hand, you can't see his left hand, but he has no choice but to take his left hand and post on my knee to stop it from driving across. And as he does that, I just underhook it. Now I have a crossface and an underhook, and now there's nothing from stopping my knee from driving across, going into a 3/4 mount, and then we're out of position, so we restarted. See from here now he's accepted a butterfly half guard, accepted a full half guard now, and he's trying to pull the underhook up again. Once again, you just move to half guard. You focus on pushing that knee down and driving across into 3/4 mount. You see right away, he goes to extend. As he goes to extend, my right arm drops down, passes across to that outside knee position, side body lock, and then just a small circular hip switch. Gets me past the legs. And that is the end of that 4th round there. Okay, 5th and final roll here for body locking. Okay, see from here, so he has a right arm underhook. I use my right arm, his left side, to come through and use that hand to just wipe those legs across and attempt to crush his legs together. Now he opens the legs, so he actually forces himself into a half guard on that side instead. Now you see me here trying to go in with a relock and step over into a mount, but he's doing a good job of keeping that knee and elbow connected. Now I move to a cross face with my right hand, which you can't really see from here, and that gives me the luxury of having a hand assist with my left hand. And now, you see I attempt here to use that hand assist to post on the knee, but he grabs my ankle. Because he grabs my ankle, the elbow will always be exposed to an underhook, where now I can underhook, I can take that elbow up high over his shoulder line, and now he has no ability to keep a knee-elbow connection to stop my knee from coming through. So I can always exploit that space, step over, and finish chest-to-chest mounted. As you see here, he's forced into half guard. He does everything he can, and he finally gets that knee inserted inside the hip. So now he's got a knee shield half guard versus a body lock. So you see now I step and I force him back into a butterfly half guard. And actually, he goes to turn, tries to go Yoko Sumigaeshi. I get that outside knee position, and now I'm side body lock. Now he tries to go Yoko Sumigaeshi, but I actually switch from a body lock as he goes Yoko Sumigaeshi to a claw grip. So now his whole goal is to take me over his right shoulder, so I jump across to his left shoulder and crush his legs together. So he tries to go Yoko right, I cartwheel counter Yoko left, get that outside knee position, crush the legs together, pommel to a top pommel here, force him into a butterfly half guard, and now we're back into a body lock from butterfly half. Now I'm looking to pommel my butterfly hook in. He actually denies my butterfly hook by closing the knee. So you see here I got a pommel a butterfly hook, he closes the knee, but him closing the knee allows me now to crush his two legs together again. Get that outside knee position. And now he gets to open the legs, realizing it was a mistake, but pulls me just into a mounted situation where we go in and reset. Everyone's trying to shoulder crunch from here. You can't really shoulder crunch from here because of the fact that the hands are locked and wedged in place underneath your body. So it's hard to separate guys' hands from here when you have a shoulder crunch, provided their shoulders are lower than yours. So again, using that sprawling method. Now he realizes the butterfly hook's coming out. He goes to lock on top, realizes he can't do it. Tries to take me back on the other side. So now I'm stepping into a half guard on the opposite side. And it's not even really a half guard. I'm basically just over his knee from here. So now I need to get past his right knee is the issue. His right knee inside my hip. And there I go. Stepping over that right knee. And we're past. See again, he goes to forward shift, off balance. I use that right hand to come through, wipe those legs together, and crush those knees in, down to the floor. Now he tries to heist up. I have good head position on his shoulder, returning his back down to the floor. He's a Yoko Sumigaeshi hook. I'm looking to pommel from here. And now the only thing holding me in place is that left leg butterfly hook. Now he brings two hooks in. I threaten to step over into mount, and now mounted. Okay, so you see from here, he brings 2 legs inside, which now allows me to step over that far knee. So I knee slide through to block his legs from moving with my right leg, and I take a big step over his far leg with my left leg, and now I go in, and we're mounted. See my head position underneath his chin to reset my hands, walking down lower and lower. Clearing 1 hook. Unlocking my hands here, trying to use the elbow assist to bring the legs down. And then that was the end of that 5th and final roll. That was the 5th roll, right? Okay, yeah, 5th and final roll. All right, so you see, most of the time, I stuck with traditional body locks, locking hands, and keeping them locked. That was primarily because the defense of every uke was to try to underhook me. Most of the time, guys accept they don't want to get their hands stuck, so they try overhooks. When you use overhooks, you see a lot more side body locks. You saw them again. You saw them a little bit here too, when guys only had 1 underhook. But again, in general, if guys underhook or double underhook, it's usually best to keep your hands locked, because the second they come unlocked and they start elevating them up, and you run into problems. When you saw only 1 underhook come into place, you saw mostly locked hands, but you saw also using tight waist to force half guard, tight waist to step over legs, and using that arm to pass the legs by, get to the outside knee position, use side body locks, and work from there. So a lot of leg pommeling, and most importantly, you saw the integration of body locking and half guard passing. You can't be a good body locker without having good half guard passing, and you can't have good half guard passing without being a good body locker. They work in unison. You can't just think of them as 2 separate areas. You have to be able to play both. Okay. The primary function of a half guard at world, or of a body lock at world level, is to force half guard chest to chest on people that you wouldn't normally be able to, going linear into half guard, going into their top knee and their defensive hands and cross posts. So you use body locks to force half guard, and then you do your work from half guard. Okay, not always, obviously. You saw me pass right to side control and stuff, right to mount from body locks. But most of the time against world level people, you're going to be using body locks to force half guard and then pass from there.